Welcome to Movies We Love Recapped. Today we look at a historical fiction piece entitled Gladiator. Before we start, hit the like button. It's free and will help me to grow this channel. The film opens as General Maximus leads his Roman legions against the Germanic barbarians in the year 180 AD. We see the Roman army assembling their forces in preparation for battle. The Romans begin their attack by launching flaming arrows and other deadly projectiles. The barbarian horde, undeterred, attacks ferociously. The two sides unleash deadly hand-to-hand combat on each other. Finally, the Roman army prevails, ending a prolonged war. General Maximus's victory earns the esteem of his troops and, most importantly, the elderly emperor Marcus Aurelius. The emperor's son Commodus and daughter Lucilla have been summoned to join the campaign. They ride in luxury. Commodus is clearly coddled and insecure. The emperor is about to name his successor, and Commodus, confident he'll be chosen, is friendly to Maximus, calling him brother. Lucilla and Maximus apparently had a romantic involvement at some time in the past. Lucilla has since married, had a son, and been widowed. To the shock of the morally upstanding Maximus, the emperor appoints him as successor, bypassing his own son, Commodus. Maximus, longing to go home to his own wife and son, tries to decline the honor, but the emperor insists. When Commodus learns that he will not be emperor, he is visibly shaken. He accuses his father of never loving him. The emperor, overcome with emotion, falls to his knees and embraces his son. Commodus then smothers his father, murdering him. Declaring himself emperor, Commodus asks Maximus for his loyalty, which Maximus, realizing Commodus's involvement in the emperor's death, refuses. Commodus then orders Maximus arrested and executed. He also dispatches Praetorian guards to murder Maximus's wife and young son. Maximus, using his combat prowess, narrowly escapes his execution. He then races home. He discovers his family's charred and hanging bodies in the smoldering ruins of his villa. After burying his wife and son, a grieving Maximus comes to exhaustion and collapses on their graves. Slave traders find Maximus and take him to Zucobar, a rugged province in North Africa. He is soon purchased by Proximo, the head of a gladiator school. Distraught and nihilistic over the death of his family and betrayal by his empire, Maximus initially refuses to fight. As time goes by and he defends himself in the arena, his formidable combat skills lead to a rise in popularity with the audience. Here we see the gladiators preparing for the arena. Some of the men look paralyzed with fear. Their opponents are downright terrifying, wearing frightening headpieces. The bloody fighting begins with many being slaughtered, but Proximo's fighters perform well, and by the end of the battle, prove to be an effective and formidable force. The crowd cheers with approval. Proximo tells Maximus that his abilities as a fighter won't be enough in Rome. He needs to win the affections of the audience and the emperor. Maximus realizes this strategy might get him close enough to Commodus to get his revenge. In Rome, Commodus reopens the gladiatorial games to commemorate his father's death. Proximo's company of gladiators is hired to participate. The first battle takes place in the majestic Colosseum in Rome. It is a huge spectacle. Maximus and his team are pitted against a much more powerful force. They ride on chariots and are equipped with projectile weapons. The chariot riders kill many with their deadly arrows, but using his experience in real battle, Maximus and his team systematically disable the chariots. Then Maximus mounts one of the horses and begins his attack. Finally, Proximo's gladiators wear down the enemy and achieve a decisive victory over the more powerful force. The crowd is amazed by the spectacle. They cheer wildly for the gladiators. Emperor Commodus, impressed by the show, descends into the arena to meet the victors. He requests Maximus to remove his helmet and reveal his identity, and is stunned to discover that the leader of Proximo's gladiators is Maximus, the man he ordered murdered. The emperor, unable to kill Maximus because of the crowd's roaring approval for him, gives the thumbs up sign, allowing Maximus to live, and sulks out of the arena. As the games continue, Commodus pits Maximus against Tigress of Gaul, Rome's only undefeated gladiator, in an arena surrounded by chained tigers. Tigress is a huge man, decked out in shining silver armor. He begins the fight by kicking dust in Maximus's face. Each time Maximus comes near a trap, a hungry tiger is released. Eventually, a tiger gets hold of Maximus, but he is able to stab it to death. Following an intense battle, Maximus narrowly defeats Tigress and awaits Commodus's decision to kill or spare Tigress. Though Commodus votes for death with a thumb down, Maximus spares Tigress, deliberately insulting the emperor and garnering the approval of the audience. With his bitter enemy now known as Maximus the Merciful, Commodus becomes more frustrated at his inability to kill Maximus or stop his ascending popularity, while Commodus's own popularity sinks. Following the fight, Maximus meets his former servant, Cicero, who reveals that Maximus's army remains loyal to him. Lucilla, increasingly fearful of her brother's instability, forms a plot with Maximus and Senator Gracchus to reunite Maximus with his army and overthrow Commodus. Commodus, however, learns of his sister's betrayal from her young son Lucius and forces her to reveal the plot by threatening the boy. Commodus sends Praetorian guards to storm Proximo's gladiator barracks, but the gladiators decide to battle the guards. During the fighting, Maximus escapes to the city walls, but he is ambushed by a cohort of Praetorian guards who use Cicero as bait, killing him as soon as Maximus comes out into the open. Concluding that legends born in the Colosseum must die there, Commodus personally challenges Maximus to a duel in front of a roaring audience. Acknowledging that Maximus's skill exceeds his own, Commodus deliberately stabs Maximus with a stiletto, puncturing his lung, and has the wound concealed beneath the gladiator's armor. In the arena, rose petals shower down. The two men exchange blows back and forth, but Maximus is clearly hurt and bleeding inside his lung. Maximus finally uses what strength he has left and rips the sword from Commodus's hands. Maximus drops his own sword, but Commodus pulls a hidden stiletto and renews his attack. Maximus then beats Commodus into submission and kills him with his own stiletto. As Commodus collapses in the now silent Colosseum, a dying Maximus sees his wife and son in the afterlife. He reaches for them. Maximus collapses, and Lucilla rushes to his side. After being reassured that her son is safe and Commodus is dead, Maximus dies and wanders into the afterlife to his home and family in the distance. Senator Gracchus and Proximo's gladiators carry his body out of the Colosseum. The film ends here. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this recap, please hit the like button, and I will see you next time.